What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you want to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Essentially, this floor housed a small monster lair inhabited by several giant bats, each ranked C+. If you weren't aware of them, you'd have to face a torrent of monsters all at once, but if Ellen's party saw them coming, I suppose they could prepare for it well enough. I just didn't want it to look like they knew in advance there was something in that lair. That'd seem a little too contrived. But I had nothing to worry about. Ellen's party deliberately used trapdoors to go down to floor 5, pretended to be injured so they could advertise the effects of potions for me, and claimed loudly to be searching for somewhere to rest all the way to the monster lair. The perfect act from start to finish. They had futures in the theater, I tell you.
Guys, there's a small chamber around the corner. Let's rest in there.
Alrighty. Are you okay, Cabal?
Yeah. Boy. That potion worked like a charm. I feel absolutely fine, but let's rest a little bit before we start farming some more.
Cabal's delivery was a touch wooden, but nobody noticed. The eyes of everyone in the audience were on the big screen as Guido opened the door.
Whoa ho ho! Giant bats!
Stay calm. Cable, you're on.
I don't want them sucking my blood, but...
Despite Cabal's reluctance, he hefted up his scale shield, hiding behind it as he faced the full brunt of the bat's attack. It looked like a tricky situation at first glance, but Cabal was cool as a cucumber. The giant bats had no way of cutting through a shield that durable, so he shrugged off their strikes without breaking a sweat. As he distracted them, Ellen completed her magic spell.
Here we go. Icicle shot.
A flurry of small, sharpened shards of ice flew at the bats. In a room this small, they had nowhere to flee. With her magic amplified by her dryad staff, Ellen's blast of ice tore the entire flock of bats to shreds.
Too easy, by the looks of things.
You may be right. If this were Bisson's party, I bet it'd be a life and death struggle.
I feel like giving out a gold chest for this is costing us.
Maybe, but let's not use Ellen's party as our yardstick for this,
Ramirez had a good point. Plus, if you think about it, this went easy for Ellen only because she cheated. She wouldn't get this advantage normally. If she had run herself ragged all around the labyrinth before finally discovering a gold box, I'd be happy to toast her good fortune then.
That was a fine battle, wasn't it?
Soka asked Mjolmile on mic.
Yes, this is definitely a well-seasoned team of adventurers. They certainly made it look easy. And here's Sir Guido opening a treasure chest.
Oh, a gold chest. Are we really going to see a rare item come out?
I focused in on Guido's hands. He was guaranteed a rare, but exactly what, I couldn't guess.
Looks like a sword.
I wanted some sorcerer's armor.
A sword? Sweet. Someone up high must be watching how hard I'm working.
3 people, 3 reactions. Guido couldn't care less, Ellen was pouting, and Cabal showed his first real enthusiasm of the day. The sheer across-the-board variety made me laugh.
And it looks like a weapon, Mile.
I'm sure it is. The Demon Lord Rimuru has given me word that every gold chest is guaranteed to house an excellent item inside.
I didn't remember saying that, but I was glad Mjolmile was kind enough to hype it up for me. This chest contained a Tempest sword. Everyone thought it was a rare, but it was actually a unique. Like the Tempest dagger I'd given Guido, it was a masterpiece of a weapon, forged by Karabe from Charybdis scales. Veldora had made, jackpot, finds like this more common for today, and maybe that's why Ellen's party scored a killer item that usually showed up just 1% of the time. Then, their mission done for the day, the party promptly prepared to head back. Talk about a cold, calculated approach, huh? I dunno.
We kind of lavished too much on them.
I said as I laughed at their indomitable drive for riches.
But well.
How were Masayuki's team and Gaia doing? Both were drilling deeper and deeper down, as if in a footrace, but it was clear who had the advantage. Masayuki's party was overwhelmingly ahead, already at the 9th floor by the time 2 hours passed by.
They're just way too fast.
I'm sorry, I didn't think challengers would use trapdoors that way.
I doubt Masayuki is deliberately aiming for them, but...
Even as Ramirez and I spoke, the party tore their way across floor 9. With over 50 minutes left to go, they reached floor 10, and thanks to yet another conveniently placed trapdoor, they managed to get deep inside, right nearby the boss chamber. Masayuki's good luck again, no doubt.
I never would have guessed they'd go this far in under 3 hours.
Their speed just totally floored me. By this point in the labyrinth, you'd start to encounter monsters in the middle of corridors as well, not just in rooms. Sometimes they'd appear in small groups, too, but Masayuki's friends did an impressive job against them. Nearly all their foes fell with one hit, at no time were they ever endangered. And since my map was accurate except for the trapdoors, they were still checking it to figure out the way ahead. Finally, the party reached the last chamber in the floor. The stairs to floor 11 would appear only once they defeated the boss lurking inside, a black spider, ranked AB in difficulty. The party cowered against this fearsome sight. And Jinrai then slashed it to death in one swipe. Damn, that was frustrating. Against Team Masayuki, a black spider didn't even begin to pose a challenge. If it weren't for all those damn trapdoors, at least they would have had to spend more time getting here. Thus the party picked up their gold treasure chest, grabbing a rare level dagger from it. That, and they even added their names to the floor's save point. I decided, right then and there, to just do away with all the trapdoors. Once the boss was slain, Masayuki's group used their return whistle to head back to the surface, making them the second group to emerge after Ellen's. Just when the party exited the boss chamber, the door leading to it opened again.
Masayuki's party is back with us, but now Sir Gaia is going to challenge the boss.
Gay has traversed this far into the labyrinth all by himself. No traps or pitfalls have caught him yet, and he's been going at a breathtaking clip the whole time.
Yes, at the speed he's going, he's racing past trapdoors before they can even open. That's an unexpected approach to take. I don't think most people could copy it.
The adventurer types in the audience nodded in agreement with Mjolmile. Going solo was one thing, but a multi-member team could never pull a trick like that. Gaia didn't have the greatest of personalities, but he was every bit worthy of the A rank he was rewarded. He had run into no problems in these early floors, taking every measure available to score as many silver chests as possible. He was about the worst beta tester I could have picked, but I couldn't do much about that now.
That piece of garbage swordsman beat me here, eh? Oh well. Bring back that boss for me.
Gaia wasted no time copying an attitude. It was grating, but I was mature enough to put up with it.
So what happens at a time like this, Mile?
Well, I'm told that the boss is resurrected in approximately 30 minutes.
And the gold treasure chest with it?
That's what I understand, yes. Otherwise, Sir Rimuru was concerned people would start fighting each other for the right to tackle a boss.
I see. In that case, I'm afraid Gay may not have enough time.
No, there's not much time left. I imagine that'll be the end of this run for him.
15 minutes remained out of the 3 hours allotted. Gaia, once the situation was explained to him, did not take it well.
Are you kidding me? You think you can boss me around in here? I know how talentless all you people are, but I don't see why I need to stoop down to your level. Get this boss back here now.
The greed was visible in his eyes as the self-centered vitriol continued. Delta took it all in stride, but the next thing Gaia said changed matters for her.
Humph. The master of a talentless fool is a talentless fool. There's no need at all for me to abide by the rules of you buffoons.
Oops, shouldn't have said that. That's all but declaring to the master of the labyrinth that you aren't gonna play by her laws. Gaia's shouting wasn't going to change anything, but was the master going to ignore that insult? Doubtful.
Your statement clearly violates the regulations set by us.
Delta calmly stated.
I will let this go if you apologize, but I will not allow any more abusive language.
Gaia snorted at her.
What? Why is a guide like you think you're so far above me? Don't make me laugh.
Clear rule violation confirmed. Executing punishment.
Ha! Punishment? What could you ever do to her?
At the next moment, Gaia's body was bound and lifted into the air by vines that sprang up from the floor around him.
Wah!
I have removed the pain suppressor feature on your resurrection bracelet. Do you feel like apologizing yet?
Small thorns shot out from the vines, piercing into the slits between his armor's plating. The results were painful for him. This was the spirit magic Thornbind, and Delta was able to launch it with 0 spell casting delay.
Damn you! You think that's all it takes to beat me?
This is your final warning. Do you have any interest in apologizing?
The hell I do. This level of magic could never.
His shouting was cut off mid-sentence, as Delta used her slender hands to slice Gaia's head off. He had chosen the wrong person to pick a fight with today. Yes, he was an A-ranked adventurer, but Delta was a dryad. Even without battle experience, her species had instincts that made her a threat beyond hazard level. Once she was a bit more well-versed, she'd be at the calamity tier with Trainee and the others. Someone like Gaia had no chance. The sight of Gaia, who had wowed in the battle tournament, getting destroyed by the gentle-looking Delta made the crowd audibly gasp. The flowing swordsman Maeve thought he was strong, but he was killed in an instant, unable to defend himself. Seeing that projected on such a large screen would scare the crap out of anyone.
Ah yes.
Mjolmile said in hushed tones.
In the labyrinth, the words of the Maze Master essentially serve as the law. Ignore her rules, and the managers will deliver a swift punishment like the one you saw just now.
As he put it, if you followed the rules, you were perfectly safe.
That's pretty scary. So what happens to Gay, then?
Nothing at all, actually. He will be stripped of the items he'd acquired in this trip into the labyrinth, but otherwise, he is alive and well. Although without the pain suppression feature on his resurrection bracelet, I imagine it's a rather grueling experience for him at the moment.
There was no real punishment, you could say. All it meant was a reset back to what you were before venturing inside, and nothing else. Serious rule infractions might require us to ban you from the dungeon entirely. But we planned to discuss that once we saw how things went.
Gay's now out from the labyrinth, but unlike you, Mile, it appears he's unconscious.
Immediately after the decapitation, Gaia dissolved into particles of light and was resurrected at the surface, still knocked out. That's because Delta exercised her right to restrict the functionality of his resurrection bracelet, a sort of nuanced way to mete out extra punishment. He was safe and unhurt, but his body would need some time to recover from the shock of dying. Between his mistreatment of Mjolmile and outright contempt for Delta, Gaia was proving to be one of the most distasteful people I'd ever met. Seeing him like this was, to say the least, gratifying. Hopefully, he learned his lesson a little.
Yes.
Mjolmile continued.
As long as participants follow the rules, the resurrection bracelet always works perfectly. But as all of you saw, Sir Gaia was deliberately flaunting regulations.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel.
Shout out to IK, Angel Blaze, Hades, Quan Xian, Somanizan, Mr. KV Man, as FR, Claire Bellato, Ephraim Remasag, and last, but not the least, shout out to Obituary Napaya. I'll see you guys in the next video.